glimpse. This is not in any particular order.
Competitors on the center line.
They're just taking a look at them in comparison so that when they get to the point where they want to call them out selectively, they'll have a better idea. So this is in no way, shape, or form 1 through 4.
All right, gentlemen in place. Let's head down to the judges. Please welcome your head judge, Mr. Steve Weinberger.
Thank you, Bob. Gentlemen, front double bicep. Quarter turn to the right.
You've talked about this quite a bit. Now it's time to see what they look like standing next to each other.
Yeah, and again, these are not competitive call-outs. This is for the judges to cement in their head when they get to call them out.
Turn right.
The ones they want to see compared, they'll have a better idea of when and why they want to call them out. Look at how wide his shoulders are from one grip to the other.
His legs from the back look stellar. They're really popping out there.
Well, if we're going to be Monday morning quarterbacking in this 4 call-outs, how did you
relax? Quarter turn
standing
to
out
the
in
right.
this 4? And that says a lot because you got William Bonac in that lineup. I said earlier that Hottie's measure is going to be William Bonac. That's going to be the guy he has to get by in order to get recognized.
Thank you.
When I came up, I had Lee Labrada. That was my guy.
Wow.
Hottie's guy is William Bonac.
And let's have our second group of 4 competitors on the center line, please.
Is Dexter the only one from your that era still competing?
Dexter's like a vampire. I mean, Dexter was around when they had the cassettes, you know, before they made DVDs. And, you know, they didn't have cell phones back then. You had a beeper on your thing. Dexter goes way back. Yeah, he's the one that's still out there living while everyone else is trying to on life support.
Because I know you competed over 3 decades.
Yeah. He's done it at a very high level for a very long time, and that's not mistaken. It's not lost on anybody but look who's done this sport.
All right, now we see the comparison.
Turn right.
You can see Michael Lockett. He's got certain body parts
Quarter
that
turn
stand
right.
out, but there's some of them that look like they just need a lot of work. Not a little, but a lot of work. From the back, this is where Dexter Jackson normally
Back
is
double
lights out.
bicep.
Well, Michael Lockett looks good.
Oh. You see, Michael's got those traps, but then there's nothing else on the back. He's a lot more all the way down. With Dexter, he's got that middle, meaty stuff going on, the nasty stuff.
Steve Cocolo had some nice width as well.
That served Steve well in his career. Wide.
Also one of the taller guys. I think Steve's about 5'10", 5'11".
Thank you.
Yeah, he's pushing 6 feet tall.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, right this way, please. Tony will direct you off the stage. And our third group of 4 competitors on the center line, please.
Yeah, we're just kind of like analyzing these guys, but they're not being measured in terms of who won that call out. You know what I mean? The next round would be the one where they get actually scored.
And that is going to be interesting. We've got Big Cedric, we've got Luke Sandow there. Jonathan.
Front double bicep.
And you got, these are pretty tall guys. Luke's pretty tall, and look at the tiny waist that disappears right here on this guy. Cedric, the lines in this group
Relax,
is very
quarter
nice.
turn to the right.
I don't remember why I came.
Quarter turn. Back double bicep. Relax, quarter turn.
Especially in the glutes. Luke is going to be trying to play catch up. He's going to have to pull some water between tonight and tomorrow for us to give him a little bit more recognition.
Front double bicep.
All right, Sean, this is an interesting group of guys right here with some varied physiques that, compared to each other, look really good.
Quarter turn right.
Yeah, and Brandon Curry is standing out amongst these four gentlemen, especially because he's got that awesome front double bicep. I'd like to see Akim and Rolly trade places. And Rolly and Brandon stand next to each other.
Wow.
High lat with his hand.
Back double bicep.
Akim is pretty conditioned for a big fella.
No, he is where he needs to be, but he's in this competition. I think he's going to have to go a little bit more, you know what I mean? You're going to have to ring it out just a little bit more, and you don't know that until you're here. A lot of these guys are at their absolute best. Sometimes the best on this stage is not enough to deal with veterans. And I have a distinct feeling that as they pose more, Brandon's starting to get a little shine on him. You can see him.
Yeah.
He's not adding oil. The water is starting to come out. Rolly is going to, the waterworks are going to start on Rolly too.
Juan Morel.
They're going to make them work.
Yeah.
And when they start working, that water's going to start coming out.
Judges certainly got
For some, it gets harder.
once again here at the Olympia stage.
You look like a mess.
This is your chance to help the judges in making that all-important first call-out, folks. Yell out the name of who you want in the first call-out.
Yeah, you remember from your days when they start working you and they turn you around and turn you around and turn you around. It's exhausting.
In numerical order.
Here it is.
William, Hattie, Dexter, Steve, Brandon, and Rolly.
That is a great first call out.
It was a predictable first call out. We thought Cedric might be in there, but I almost 100% certainty no. That Hadi Chupin being in there might have bumped him out. But the surprise in that call out, if I'm not mistaken, I heard Steve Kuklow's name.
He did.
That's the surprise of this first call out. And Steve Kuklow told me last night, I said, what's the victory for you, Steve? I want to be in the first call out. So one dream has already come true.
Well, now interestingly enough, one of your video hits in the last week said he's a sleeper.
Yeah, just like Ronnie Coleman was back in 1998. Steve Kuklow is the sleeper, and now he's in the first call out. We'll see how he fares.
Gentlemen, spread out.
Hadi Chupin, though,
Double bicep.
kept Cedric from this first call out. That's what I believe. So Cedric might have been in this first call out if Hadi Chupin doesn't get a visa to the United
And
States.
Hadi looks good.
Yeah.
Front lat spread.
Steve is going to have to tighten up a little tomorrow.
Yeah, you see what I'm talking about? When you
Yeah.
make this type of comparison, you can see the small details of what someone has and doesn't have. And this is Brandon's shot.
That was glorious.
His front lat spread just opens up like a 747. And he's making William Bonek look small.
Side chest.
Rolly is flat. He's flat and he looks like he's soft right now. And he's missing the wow factor he had a year ago. I'm not drawn to him like we were a year ago. He's playing catch up.
One of my favorite phrases to hear coming up was barn door lats.
Yes, the barn door. Barn door lats. I gotta tell you, I don't know what else Brandon can do. He's brought what he needs to bring. Let's see how these guys all look, because in the absence of someone like Phil Heath, there's no three-dimensional roundness and grainy hamstrings and crevasses in the back. So let's see who's going to wind up breaking out of the pack. And Steve looks really good.
Steve looks good. But as you said, this is the best of who shows up on that day with their best.
Yeah, so it's hard to compare against guys that aren't here. And I got to tell you,
Relax.
little William Bonek's holding his own in the back double like that.
Back lat spread.
See how Steve looks against Hadi. Hadi's so wide.
Yeah, he's not even close to Steve in terms of weight. Hadi's a much smaller bodybuilder, but he looks bigger right now. So that's the illusion that Hadi brings to the stage. Steve's almost 6 foot, Hadi's 5'6", and he looks bigger than him.
Hadi's got, well, we're at, what, 6, 7 guys out right now? How many are sitting out there?
Yeah, 6.
So we know Hadi's top 5.
Yeah, there's no question he's done what he needed to do. I've always said he's one of the top 5 guys for sure. Now it's a question of where he winds up in this lineup. Steve's dreams come true because he just wanted to be in the top 6. top first call out.
Now we're switching around.
Yeah, now it's going to get interesting. Because this is where I think the rubber's going to hit the road.
Abdominals in 5.
Brandon's in the middle where I thought he was going to be. He's got Rolly on the left, and he's got William on his left and Hadi on his right.
Rolly's abs look good.
I think William Bonac has Rolly.
Oh.
We're going to give the old man a good look here. It's interesting because you can't judge them when they're just standing there. The days of judging physiques in their silhouette and relaxed it's
Front
gone.
double biceps.
These guys have to be in the pose in order to critique them properly.
All right, William looks good just coming into it.
I like Hadi's quads are just sickly veiny and separated.
Really feathered.
Yeah, kind of a little bit high lats there. And then Dexter's missing that separation. You see the comparison there? Dexter doesn't have that separation in his quad.
Hadi and William switch.
Uh-oh.
That's a good comparison. I'm glad they're giving these guys the opportunity to stand next to each other because for so many years, sometimes you couldn't get that comparison. And now they're getting the work that they deserve and the opportunity. Remember, Hadi's probably dreamt about this his whole life. To be compared with Rolly on one side and Brandon on the other. But Visa would allow him to come here. And of course, William Bonac, man, he's earned the right to be in this call-out.
Back double bicep.
Brandon looks good.
I think Dexter looks a little heavy around the midsection, especially from the back. It looks like his waist has gotten a little bit blocky down low.
Gentlemen, relax.
And his skin is getting just a little bit loose.
Everyone take a step. Steve, take a step. Rolly, take a step.
And Rolly's relaxed position here, you can see he's soft. The hamstrings are soft. The glutes are soft. He's just a little bit too soft by comparison to a year ago.
Let's see if they move Steve somewhere back on the other side of Rolly, or...
Let me tell you something. I'm not going to be surprised if Hadi Chupa isn't one of the last men standing on that stage.
William and Hadi switch back.
Here we go. It's going to be interesting to see who that top 3 is and see what changes they make between now and tomorrow night.
Absolutely.
Back lat spread.
If I'm going out on a limb right now, my top 3, and looking at what I've seen, I'm looking at Hadi, I'm looking at William Bonac, and I'm looking at Brandon Curry. That's my top 3. I don't know in what order until tomorrow. But right now, those guys are my top 3. I think Rolly's holding a little too water. I think Steve's a little too soft from the rear. And I think Dexter is just not put together the way he should be in order to be in the mix tonight. But that doesn't mean that Dexter couldn't be 4th place.
Yeah.
He's in the top 6 as far as this call-out's concerned.
Abdominals in 5.
Which is some kind of record considering this is his 20th Mr. Olympia.
Not what he came for, but it is pretty impressive. He's a month away from 50.
Yeah, and you know, he would like nothing else than to stand in between Hadi and Brandon. I'd like to see that just for posterity's sake. You know
Did you see the obliques on that hit with Hadi?
Your favorite most muscular.
It's coming down to condition, man. You know, this is Rolly Winkler's shot. He owns the most muscular shot. But I think without the detail, the wow factor's gone. Look at the legs. The legs aren't a part of that famous most muscular.
Relax.
You know, I try to think back to other great bodybuilders of the era of the age that were still holding in their 40s. Vince Taylor was that master. He had that 5-year Masters Mr. Olympia run from 40 to 45.
Yeah, and you had Albert Beckles. I mean, Vince and Albert Beckles are the guys that are the new Dexter Jackson.
But 49 years old, almost 50, to be top 6 again.
What he's doing is nothing short of amazing. And this contest has not been decided, in my eyes, after looking at what we just saw. So now we're going to see what the next level of competitors.
There's Cedric.
And don't be surprised if after looking at these comparisons that one of these guys tomorrow night, or even 2 of them, might wind up getting recalled out with what we just saw. Which means some of those guys in that top 6 may wind up changing places with one of these cats. So that's to be seen. So what I'm looking at with my professionally trained eye, Tim, which is why they pay me the big time, is this is the call-out lineup that I think that Cedric should win. He is one of those guys structurally that should win this call-out comparison. Luke Sandow's the only one I think qualified to knock him out of this, but I just don't think he brings the genetic structure to challenge Cedric in this line. And that's the advantage some athletes have. Sometimes you're just blessed with great genetics. It doesn't mean you don't work any less or any harder than the next competitor, but when you put all the pieces together and you have this shape, your eye gets drawn to it. And in this lineup right here, you get drawn to Cedric's silhouette by comparison to the other three gentlemen.
Back double bicep.
It's always hard for me when there's 4 and they start shifting people around to know who's in the middle.
Yeah, because you got 2 on one side and 2 on the left. But knowing these physiques and watching these careers, you know, Cedric's genetic gifts just take him to another level. This is Lucas's best shot. His back double bicep is the one that I think gets him to the Olympia, and then he kind of fades in certain other poses, right?
I can absolutely see that. Now let's.
You got these two guys, and then nobody's wider than Akam, but his skin is so thick you just can't see the crispness.
Side try.
Now that's a great shot for Cedric.
Yeah.
I've always been a fan of some of the taller guys to get those lines that Cedric gets. Sometimes you get a little blocky, you get down in that 5'4" to 5'6" range. It's hard not to be blocky. And you get those big sweeps and those big lines like Cedric has. They're just aesthetically pleasing.
Right. Well, and Cedric's done a very nice job building up the pecs and the delts and getting big arms and those big hanging traps. It sets everything off.
Oh, wow. Akam came to play.
Yeah, I mean, for Akam, he's done the best with what he has to work with, right? Again, if he could just bring that up into his abdominals and get some more intercostals and separation in the abdominal wall, he would be in the mix. Lucas has some nice feathers on his quadriceps.
Cedric's got some beautiful shoulders and some great separation.
And that's why he hits the poses that he does. He knows which poses accentuate those body parts.
Thank you.
And you can see Luke hand down his quads are just holding a little bit of film of water. His glutes definitely holding water into his hamstrings.
You can't help but think of his age. He's got a lot of good years ahead.
Yeah, no question. He came on strong at the Arnold Classic this year.
Jonathan and Juan.
So this is the last call out. I'm surprised that we didn't see Patrick a little bit earlier. He's got such beautiful lines and he's in good condition. And again, I told you somebody might rise up by tomorrow night. If anybody's going to rise up right now, I think Patrick might rise up. We might look at him a little bit more here.
Pop into that top 10.
Yeah, because I would have loved to see him in that last call out against Lucas and Luke Sandow and Lucas Oswald.
All right, fans, I know you're watching the Men's Open Prejudge. We still have the 212 coming up with Flex Lewis retiring from 212. We don't know that he's retiring from bodybuilding, Sean.
Correct.
That's an open title, and that's going to be really exciting tonight.
That's what everyone's sticking around tonight to see. This is our first introduction to real muscle with these cats right here. But the 212 is a barnstormer, and the finals are going to be interesting.
I was a prejudge. It was tight.
Yeah, I know it was. They could go one of 3 ways on that 212 division. This one, though, is still kind of up to grabs. And mind you, they're going to come back. This prejudging is not over. They're going to come back with the first group of guys to take another look.
I like Patrick's physique.
He's got pretty skin color, too. That's not his natural color. That's a very nice color that he's got. He's got the quadriceps splits. He's got the abdominal when he hits the front double bicep. Big arms for a big guy.
Yeah. Yeah, the expo was packed, meet and greet, the Meet the Pros, press conference. This morning for Prejudge, VIP was full, and people watching from the wings was 5 to 7 deep.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. I think people represented this year more than any other year in the past. I think it has to do with our sponsors offering all the things that they bring to the table and new companies coming into the fold. I mean, we're expanding every year, and that expo was ridiculously packed for Friday. What's going to happen tomorrow?
It's going to be jammed.
Oh,
you got to come out if you can. Tomorrow, a lot of great celebrities. And then the prejudge for classic physique, men's physique, bikini, and I think that's it.
I think that's going to be a wrap, man. But with this last group of guys here, I mean, you gotta wonder, like, these are the guys that may be struggling to crack the top 10, okay? And when I told you Juan Morel had to peak in June, in May at the New York Championships, and we had Jonathan De La Rosa over in June in Canada. It's hard to hang on to that, man. It's hard to hang on there, and Max Charles has had the longest time to try to get here since he qualified in November of last year.
Wow.
But we don't get the personal stories of the journeys it takes to get here. I would love if we can get like a 3-minute clip of each athlete to tell us about the trials and tribulations. I mean, some of them will probably be in tears with what they have to give up and sacrifice to get here.
I also like to hear, and we used to do that with the competitor profiles, I like to hear what they have to balance between family, some of them have real jobs, Cedric being in the Army.
Yeah.
What you have to really do if you're not a trainer or a sponsored athlete to balance your life out and still get here in peak condition.
Yeah, everybody's got a different journey, but you know what? This sport is ruthless when it comes down to not even mattering, because they only want to see this, the end result. It's an art show. You paint it all year, and you unveil it in front of the judges, and you pick the art that you like, and you have to deal with it.
Well, and it's one of the things that's kind of hit and miss on everybody's mind in the art of adding tattoos. I just feel like these physiques are such works of art. They don't need any graffiti.
Yeah,
you want to see the striations.
And you never know where it's going to take you. You could be in the military and then get some tattoos, and next thing you know, you're a professional bodybuilder. You don't know. I mean, they don't mark it down. I know Dorian Yates used to have tattoos.
Barry DeMay.
And Mike Christian. I got mine when I retired. I got small.
As a young guy, before I knew I had bad genetics, I didn't get a tattoo thinking I'd be on this stage someday. I should have gotten some.
This, Tim, is an interesting call-out, because we know this is not for the top 3, right?
Yeah.
And we know that this is not something that's 7 through 10.
So is this your shift up or down?
I honestly believe this is for the 6th spot. Maybe even 5th and 6th spot. Because you have Kuklo in there, who we said he was that first call-out.
Yeah.
You got Dexter, who's got a right to be in that bad boy. He's earned it. And Lucas with his quads are breaking him.
I gotta say, Dexter looks like he's hardening up as we speak.
Yeah. This is interesting. I think this is going to be like 5th and 6th place.
All right, Kuklo's hardening up too. Look at the veins coming in on his quads.
Dexter's wondering, what the hell am I doing in this call-out? I'm telling you. The veteran mind of an Olympian is, why am I here? Who are these guys? It's not normal. Dexter's usually in that upper echelon. I don't think he's ever been compared to any of these guys right here.
Well, and the glory of any night, any given Sunday, is that you can't bring your Sandow from 08 and say, hey, I'm going to be over there with the other guys. You've got to earn it every time.
It's been 11 long years, and I think reality may be setting in. We know that Father Time is undefeated, right? We watched Muhammad Ali. We watched Michael Jordan. I mean, it comes, and it comes swift. But even still, I think this is for 5th and 6th, which would be having Dexter fighting to stay in that top 6. And if he can stay in that top 6, he's still relevant.
Yeah.
He's still relevant. It'd be an improvement from a year ago. So let's not discount the fact that while he might not be in the conversation for the top 4, I think he is fighting to stay in that top 6.
Now, looking at this top 4, there's some mass, there's some conditioning, and there's some maybe tomorrow night. What are you seeing tonight that will keep people in that first call out?
Yeah, these guys are fighting for that comparison tomorrow night, I believe. And I think there's some structural things that you're just not going to be able to fix. While Lucas got some great quads, he's got some nice poses, his back, and his upper pec. I think that hurt him. While Dexter is struggling with the conditioning department, he's going to have to control that stomach, and he's going to have to show it off like he used to back in the day. That midsection is hurting Dexter right now. That's the shot where he should show off his intercostals and his full abdominal wall. And you can see there's a little bit of protrusion at the lower abs, and there's no separation in the quads. Dexter used to have that, and we're not seeing it right now. And Steve is getting bold enough. You poke the bear.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You don't want to poke the bear. Steve is probably on cloud 9. He's standing next to legendary royalty in Dexter Jackson. That's never happened for him. So Steve he's loving it, right?
And Steve loves his most muscular.
That's one of the shots I think that brings it home for Steve. Again, he's stronger from the front than he is from the rear. I'm curious to see how Dexter interprets that call out a little bit later on.
That was a fun call out.
So this is where the rubber hits the road, Tim.
Brandon and Rolly.
There's only 4. So that was a comparison, I believe, for 5th and 6th. And now we're talking our top 4.
And Rolly's up there. They've got him up there.
Yeah, he's fighting to be up there, because I can tell you the other 3 gentlemen, those are my top 3.
Hottie's got to be over the moon.
I don't want to sound like
Front
Nostradamus
double
or anything.
bicep.
But those are my top 3 over here.
I'm going to let you pick me some Keno numbers in a few minutes.
I have a feeling that Rolly's going to be pulling up the 4th. I'm not going to predict 1st, 2nd, and 3rd tonight. You got to come back tomorrow for that right here at digitalmuscles.com. Action starts Saturday night at 7 p.m.
Front lat spread.
And all the questions will be answered. Hottie's quads are ridiculous.
We're getting some pre-answers right now.
Yeah. Look at Brandon. Pretty pose.
Side
Athletic
chest.
looking physique. Got those big arms. His chest is full. Traps are hanging off the bottom of his neck. And this is his pose. He opens that side chest up, and Brandon seems to move away from the back. And with William, I'm looking more at the deltoid and the bicep. And with Hottie, look at those shoulders and look at the arms.
Tricep is just popping out the back.
This is the contest between those two right there. That's the fight. But I believe that right now, Brandon might have a slight edge. I'm not predicting a champion, but I think Brandon might have a slight edge overall.
Okay, now from the back, Hottie's legs are very impressive.
Yeah, that's his strength, is his legs. He's a little bottom heavy in that department. Brandon's got that tiny little waist that disappears. Man, it's like splitting hairs, right?
It really is.
Look at Hottie's hamstring.
So one of the things about the job of being a pro league judge, it just isn't easy.
I've never had any desire. I'd rather be a critic than a judge because critics can be wrong. Hey, I'm not a judge. Hey, what the heck?
I prefer my job MC. I say their names and hand out checks.
There you go. Let these guys do the hard work and entertain. But look at Hottie from the back. That's a beautiful back. That's the top.
It really is.
He's got the calves to go along with the width.
Brandon's back has such width.
Hottie's a little boxy in the waist though. That's what's his Achilles heel, is that his waist is a little boxy. But he brings the condition as he hits that side tricep. The serratus comes in, the pecs come in, the abs, the delts. That's what you want to see.
Abdominals and
Brandon
thighs.
has that pose down to a science. You see where there's a little bit of water coming out on Rolly, there'll be a lot more coming out if they continue this route because he's now starting to break into that water reserve. He's carrying a small, thin layer of water.
All right. I preferred Williams' quads right there.
Your favorite, most muscular.
And Rolly's quads. Those are big legs.
Yeah, there's no question. But the abs you can see start to fade. He's got to control the midsection. Hottie is hard as nails right in his pose. Yeah, Williams fighting back though. This is a dog fight.
Thank you, gentlemen. Back in line. This includes round 1. Back to you, Bob.
And you know what?
All right.
I don't know who the hell's going to win the show, and I typically like to pick a winner.
I think you've done pretty good.
Right back here tomorrow night, we will find out who is the new Mr. Olympia.
Yeah, I know, tomorrow. Because they're not going to decide that tonight. There's no way. There's no...